Hello everyone, welcome to our channel The Academic English. I am Shruti and today we are going to talk about the poem A Tiger in the Zoo from Grade 10 First Flight book. The poem A Tiger in the Zoo is written by Leslie Norris, who was a prize-winning Welsh poet and a short story writer from the United States. This poem throws light on the value freedom. Freedom which cannot be bargained at any cost. Freedom which works like oxygen and which is the most integral element to survive, be it we humans or the innocent animals who cannot express their emotions and plight. The poem puts up the plight of animals in captivity by describing the poignant account of a lamentable tiger who is victim in the hands of mankind. The poet urges his readers to think upon that human progress should not be at the cost of destroying the natural habitats of animals. We must look at the blessings of forestation and dangers of deforestation, and therefore we must preserve environment and natural habitat. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo, and therefore two different images of a tiger are portrayed before us. The very first image is the image of a tiger who is the dweller of forest, the denizen of forest, who is very mighty and ferocious, extreme agile, alert, supple and graceful creature, with vivid, bright and distinctive stripes on his body, who is indweller of the limitless area of the forest. However, the different image of a tiger, that is the second image of the tiger, is the imprisoned tiger who is confined to the caged habitat. He is condemned to a very limited area and therefore he is unhappy, helpless and depressive. He is lamentable and sorrowful. Let's now have reading of the poem and word-to-word explanation. Stanza number 1. He stalks in his vivid stripes, the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. The poet tells us about the miserable state of the tiger in captivity. He means the tiger, who is moving in the limited area of the cage, showing his subdued rage. The poet employs imagery to render the distinguished stripes and graceful appearance of the silent tiger. Stanza 2. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the water hole where plump deer pass. Here the poet makes a compassionate longing to set free the tiger. So, being the profound creature, he would have been lurking, prowling, and chasing his kill. Being undetected by sliding through the long grass, moreover, he would approach the water hole for his favorite hunt, that is the plump deer. Stanza 3. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Here, poet brings forth the point that killing is only necessity of his food. He is actually unharming unless provoked. If he failed to find his prey in the jungle, then he approaches and scares the inhabitants by snarling, growling around the houses at the outskirts. He tries to terrorize the residents of the village with his sharp teeth and claws. As if he is questioning why we humans have ruined his natural dwellings. Stanza 4. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Imagining the pitiable life of tiger behind bars, the poet feels upset because zoo is not the rightful place for this mighty creature. Poet longs that the tiger should have been moving freely and hunting at his will. Limited range of movement in a concrete cell is not appropriate, and therefore he doesn't relish the visitors, simply ignores to show off his anger. Stanza 5. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. The tiger keeps awake till late in the night. He has no rest. Daytime, the visitors, and nighttime, the noisy patrolling cars of the zookeepers keep disturbing him. He longs for his freedom, and therefore he silently gazes the glittering stars. His eyes are striking and glowing with the hope that someday he would get his freedom. The poet has used different sort of poetic devices to make this poem more effective and impactful. The very first line of the poem, he stalks in his vivid stripes, gives us the very live image of the tiger and his distinctive stripes. This is imagery. Pads of velvet quiet. Here the poet has employed metaphor to compare the softness of the velvet fabric with the softness of the tiger's pads. Quiet rage. This is example of oxymoron where two opposite ideas are put together. Quiet, that is being calm and composed, whereas rage means anger. The furious and ferocious tiger is subdued and trying to conceal his anger. I hope with this explanation you must have got a clear understanding about the poem A Tiger in the Zoo. And surely you would contribute yourself to fulfill the urge of the poet, that is, to be kind to these wild creatures. Further, if you have any question or query, you are requested to drop your question in the comment section. Thank you.